Could England survive a zombie apocalypse? The short answer is no, but you didn't click this video just for that. Today you will learn what could happen in a zombie outbreak, and at the end, I will tell you the only objective you must have in the first 3 days of a zombie apocalypse. In a hypothetical scenario, the ominous outbreak of a zombie virus in the heart of London unfolds with a subtle yet sinister beginning, the emergence of Patient Zero. This individual, initially indistinguishable from any other citizen, falls victim to an enigmatic source of infection, displaying initial symptoms that mimic the common flu. Gradually, the innocuous flu-like symptoms give way to a nightmarish progression, characterized by heightened aggression, confusion, and an insatiable craving for human flesh. The urban labyrinth of London, with its bustling streets, teeming public transport systems like the iconic London Underground and iconic landmarks, unwittingly becomes the breeding ground for the virus's rapid dissemination. In this sprawling metropolis, the infected individual traverses through crowded spaces, unknowingly initiating a chain reaction of transmissions. Whether within the confined spaces of tube stations or amidst the throngs of tourists flocking to popular attractions, these encounters become the epicenters of the outbreak's initial surge, facilitating the virus's spread among unsuspecting victims. Meanwhile, the fabric of society begins to fray under the weight of fear, uncertainty, and escalating reports of bizarre incidents. News of inexplicable behavior spreads like wildfire, fanning the flames of panic and triggering a city-wide exodus as citizens scramble to secure their safety. This mass movement, albeit well-intentioned, inadvertently leads to congested evacuation routes, chaotic scenes, and the breakdown of communication networks, exacerbating the chaos. The initial ambiguity surrounding the outbreak, combined with London's unique urban landscape, forms a perfect storm, propelling the virus's reach beyond the confines of the city. Despite efforts to contain the outbreak within London's boundaries, the virus breaches these barriers, spreading its tendrils across England. The consequences of this initial outbreak serve as a haunting reminder of how swiftly an innocuous beginning can spiral into a catastrophic epidemic, threatening not just a city, but an entire nation. In the wake of the initial outbreak in London, the menacing spread of the zombie virus extends far beyond the city's borders, infiltrating neighboring towns and cities throughout England. Despite concerted efforts to confine the outbreak within the confines of London, the virus displays alarming resilience, propagated by infected individuals fleeing the city or inadvertently carrying the infection via various transportation routes. This unforeseen dispersion leads to the virus permeating smaller urban centers and rural areas, catching unprepared local populations off guard and intensifying panic across these regions. Prompted by the escalating crisis, the government swiftly declared a state of emergency across the affected regions. Collaborating with law enforcement agencies, military forces mobilize rapidly to enforce quarantine measures, fortify strategic locations, and stem the virus's further spread. Attempts are made to establish containment zones and set up barricades to isolate heavily affected areas while ensuring that essential supplies and aid reach less impacted regions. However, the enormity and adaptability of the outbreak proved to be formidable challenges, straining the government's response capabilities. Limited resources, logistical hurdles, and the virus's swift evolution hinder the effectiveness of containment strategies. The virus's unpredictability, capable of spreading through various modes including human contact and environmental exposure, further complicates efforts to predict and counter its movements. As the crisis deepens, societal structures begin to crumble under the weight of fear and uncertainty. Communities grapple with depleting resources, escalating casualties, and the collapse of vital services. This fragmentation within society gives rise to divergent factions, some seeking cooperation and unity, while others prioritize individual survival at any cost. These divisions complicate the prospects of forming a unified front against the advancing zombie threat. In the wake of the relentless spread of the zombie outbreak across England, the catastrophic collapse of infrastructure and societal breakdown becomes increasingly apparent. Hospitals and emergency services are strained under the overwhelming influx of infected individuals, grappling with critical shortages of medical supplies, staff, and life-saving equipment. This dire situation exacerbates the tragic loss of life as the healthcare system struggles to provide adequate care amidst a staggering surge in casualties. Simultaneously, vital services like power, water, and communication networks face severe disruptions, plunging survivors into further distress due to the scarcity of necessities such as food and clean water. The prevailing climate of fear and uncertainty fuels widespread panic, eroding established societal norms. In this atmosphere of desperation, some individuals turn to looting, while others isolate themselves, hoarding resources in a desperate bid for self-preservation. Confidence in governmental authority dwindles as containment efforts efforts falter, sparking civil unrest among disillusioned citizens who question the efficacy of official directives and the equitable distribution of aid. In the face of an unprecedented catastrophe caused by the zombie outbreak, the landscape of England transformed into a battleground for survival. The harrowing scenario witnessed the collapse of societal structures, overwhelming healthcare systems, and the erosion of trust in established authority. However, amidst this chaos emerged resilient survivor communities, displaying unwavering determination and adaptability in the fight against the relentless threat of the undead. But honestly, do you think England could survive a zombie apocalypse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you want to know my opinion, the first 3 days, the only thing you must do is take supplies, all types of weapons, and the most important thing, go north. If you are in England, go south to the rest of Europe is not an option. The further you get from the south, and the further north you go, the fewer people you will encounter, and with it, the fewer zombies. So your chances of surviving will multiply. You will only have to worry about the cold. In that case, good luck.